Hi, everyone. Now that you've finished editing your short film and you've locked off the video, you've got it exactly the way you want it, it's time to work on the sound. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple shortcuts that are going to help you make your sound a lot better. There's some great things, new things that the Adobe Premiere has in them. So the first thing I'm going to do is what I've got here is I've got Dave talking to David. And so you can see I've put them on different levels, and now you'll see why we've put them on the different levels. Because what we can do now is everything I do on this layer, let's say I've got David talking 10 times along here, I can select all of those now. I just drag across and select all of them. I only have one so that you can see it, but right now you could do all of them across and do the same thing to each one. The first thing I'm going to do is, so that there's not an abrupt ending to this, we're going to have it go down slowly, is I'm just going to do this here. I go sequence and I can apply audio transition, and you can see it's just Command Shift D. So that's what I'm going to do down here. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go Command Shift D, and you can see I get 1 second constant. So if I zoom in on that a little bit, the trouble you'll find right now is that it's coming in slowly, but it's covering up the dialogue that you can see in the sound waves. That's because they're each a second long. And I can switch those here. I can double click on them and change those to 15 frames. So I can change the length of them here and change that to 15. But if I know I want them all to be shorter than that, there's a shortcut for that too. So now this is going to fade out, and you can see I'm not talking anyways, so it's going to fade out so that we don't get whatever buzzes in the background of this chopping off right away. It's going to slowly fade out, and you want to do that on all your audio. So it's pretty nice to just do Command Shift D, and all the layers that you selected will now have the constant power on it. So if I don't want those to be a second all the time, let's go now, we'll go to Dave. I'm going to put that on there. What I can do is go into my preferences. So I'm going to go into Adobe Premiere, Preferences, and I'm going to go into the timeline. Now what I can do is say, here's the audio transition, and I can say I only want that to be 0.3 of a second. And then I can say OK. Now you'll see when I come down here, when I do my Command Shift 4, D, I get shorter constant power, and so that'll bring that up and down. So that's the first thing you're going to do, is bring everything so that it comes in and out slowly. And remember, you've got 5 or 6 layers. You've got Dave and David talking, you've got your background noise, you've got your birds tweeting, you've got your room tone, all those things. And also make sure to send a screenshot to show me that you're doing all of this. Now let's look here. We can watch.
When should they cut to a close?
You can see now we're at about -15 for him to say when do we get to close up.
We could end with a close up.
And David is about -9. I was a little bit closer in this and maybe talked a little bit louder, a little bit better audio, and you can actually see the sound waves are better in here. So what we're going to do now is fix this. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to audio. Now it knows that I want to edit audio, so it's got a lot of great things that it can do in here. You can see now I've got these open too. If I just click right in this gray box here, double click, I can close those if I'm not working on those 2 pieces of audio, but I'm working on those 2, so I'm going to double click to open them up so I can see what's going on better. So once I've selected this, I can go up here. I know it's dialogue, and then I've got a whole bunch of defaults I can use. I like the one that says make close up. You can try male balanced voice. If somebody, you want them to sound like they're in a large room, you can do that so that they sound far away. You can do all those things in here as sort of as presets. But if I make this close up, watch, we were at about -9 before, so I'm going to make this close up, and let's see what it's like now.
We could end with a close up.
And now you can see it's quite a bit louder. We're actually peaking. So I might want to bring this down. Let's bring this down to about 5. Let's try that 5 there and see what that looks like.
We could end with a close up.
And now you can see my sound is up in the -2, -3 range, and that's where we want our dialogue to be. It's nice and clear.
We could end with a close up.
The audience is going to hear that quickly, and you can hear the difference now.
Should they cut to a close up? We could end with a close up.
It's just a lot better now for David. So let's do the same thing for Dave. Let's go over here. I'll go to dialogue. I know it's going to be dialogue. And remember, if you've got a whole line of dialogue from Dave, you can select them all at the same time because they're all on one layer. And then you can do the same thing for all of them so that you save yourself some time. I'm going to make this close up. I'm going to drop this down to probably 5. Let's try that again. Let's see what that's like.
When should they cut to a close up? We could end with a close up.
And now the sound is a lot better in both those. So that's what you're going to do for all your sound. You can go through and make sure, do it with the dialogue. And what I would do as well is when I'm just working on the David one, I would just solo it. And if you hit the S here, that means you're soloing it. And all the other layers of sound will be muted, and you'll only listen to this to make sure it's good. I can click that off, and then I can click this one and work on the Dave dialogue. I can click this off, and when I go down to my Foley, my footsteps, things like that, I can just listen to the footsteps to make sure that they're fine too. Then I can listen to them all together. If I just want to mute one, of course, I hit mute. But if I want to solo them, I just hit solo there. Okay, so I hope that helps you get your dialogue where it should be. Dialogue and sound are so important for this project, so you've got to spend quite a bit of time working on that, and I hope this video helps you.
We could end with a close-up.